Picks and bans are ready for game 2. That's going to be between LG and CLG.
Why did you make that so awkward?
What was who? What was what?
What was that awkwardness all about?
I didn't make it awkward.
You did. You just froze and like.
Well, I mean, you gave me your awkward like legs bit, and I didn't care about it. So
he's got
went.
legs. You did not say he's got legs on him. It might have been an English colloquialism and didn't realize it.
No, he's like getting his legs underneath him. I get what you mean. I didn't care much though, so I went to picks and bans.
Okay.
Is that not okay?
No, I was just confused by it.
Mixer chat has my back. I know they do. Graham is going to the picks and bans. Go ahead.
All right, listen, drop a code in chat and Mix is fine with you anyway.
Is that all
whoever
it
dropped the
takes?
last code is the one that Mixer chat love. If Weekend walked in there right now and dropped 5 codes, everyone would be like, Weekend's the greatest. Realistically though, he won't, so they'll still keep spamming that he's terrible.
Yeah, he's
not,
getting
though,
that Arachne banned against him though every single time.
He's the second player in the league to get Achilles a win.
That's right. Only 2 wins for Achilles. Let's remember that.
2
Achilles
and
bus.
7.
Achilles bus might not be
2
needed
and
after all.
7 right now he is.
Arachne, though, does get banned against LG one more time. That's one of the many benefits of having Week on your squad, man. He plays some off-meta pick very well, and that's one more ban that the other team has to make, and you can get Kamazot's first pick.
LG have game plans again here. This isn't the standard picks and bans. I mean, think about what they did in game 1. Instantly locked in Achilles. They didn't for game 2. They've gone straight to Kamazot's, which leaves Achilles up. Nemesis also available here. Very surprised by the difference in selection. LG have another game plan. They executed game 1. They want to do another game plan in game 2, and they don't care about the rest of it, it seems. Like, they're just playing their own game.
And you talk about game plan. I mean, it did look like they played their game plan well, but that Odin felt almost like a flex call to me. They're like, wait a minute, Odin would be great here. Let's just go ahead and snap it up, and it worked.
And that's kind of what you can do with a lot of compositions, where you can draft 4 core characters for the team and leave 1 flexible role, potentially. So you'd be like, what about this? Because I think the Athena could have potentially gone solo lane as well.
Yeah, especially up against us with a squad like LG where everyone can play so many things, but LG going to grab the Ardio and the Hachiman for themselves. We already talked about how strong Hachiman can be in lane, but Ardio, so disruptive is this Guardian, and can go solo or support, so a bit of flex there.
Yeah, Artio against the Jingwei is going to cause a couple of problems for Jingwei here as well, with Dash's escapability against that cripple field. Something you always have to be concerned about. Kamazot's and Artio, though, both can multi-role. You've seen him in the Hunter role, which I don't think we can see Kamazot's Hunter here, but support and solo for Artio, and jungle and solo for Kamazot's.
We are seeing, though, the Poseidon has been taken away along with the Morgan. Taking a bit of a shot here, it looks like, towards Kigz after how well he played on that Poseidon in game 1. Taking those away does mean, though, Terra is going to be the selection for CLG. Growing and growing in popularity as this Terra support.
One thing that CLG kind of had trouble with in that game was self-peel. Not self-peel, but it's peel from their tanks and backliners. They had the Terra, but that was really it. The bow didn't bring enough of that. Feel like they're kind of in the same sort of boat here, CLG, right now. LG's comp, though, interesting enough, I think it's going to be Kamazot's solo, which I was not too surprised about. But
yeah, taking a look at that. Looks like where it's going to be going.
It seems too common for Kiki is my issue.
It's what everyone else is playing, so why would Kiki play it?
Well, exactly. Because like Kiki's like, hey, I'm going to run this in there. You know what I mean? Like, he'll run different things, like the Jing 10. Like, he's always happy to vary things up. But Kamazot's first pick for Kiki, interesting.
Daji, though, does get to be the last pick, and if you get to take Daji 10th overall, I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about the prospects for your jungle. Does probably mean, though, that we're going to be seeing Achilles solo. So which one of these drafts has won you over? Is CLG going to bounce back, or LG going to get the 2-0 over CLG? I mean, am I saying that?
I mean, you are. And honestly, I'm going to say something really crazy. I actually think LG might do this one.
What?
Not based off picks and bans, but just based off that game 1. If they can do the same team play they put in game 1, CLG, something's up with them too, and I'm not trying to discredit LG there, but something didn't look right about CLG that game. LG just run that back again. I think LG could take this.
Well, LG certainly did look strong in game 1, Graham. Let's see if they can do it in game 2, or CLG will bounce back. Get it over to Tom and Ryan.
Thanks again, guys, and again, a clear pick and ban strategy. I think things were absolutely perfect in game number 1, and lightning doesn't strike twice here. But I think, again, this is a draft that lends itself to the team play that we saw in the first game.
Yeah, again, but I love CLG's recognition of what I really felt was the problem for them in game 1, which is that Athena for Gino.
Yeah.
Taking that out right off the bat, make sure he's on a different god, and that's a step in the right direction for CLG in my mind.
You know what I really liked about this one is the question that I'm going to ask you: who's going to win this game? Let us know in Mixer chat. But what I actually really liked about this one was the ban phase coming out from CLG, talking about LG, and if this goes well, I would really like that to be the moment of the game, because all 4 bans from Counter Logic Gaming were player-specific respect bans, not necessarily these meta bans that we see.
Yeah, I mean, what, the Arachne, the Morrigan, the Athena, and the Poseidon, just gods that LG plays well and has played often so far here at Season 5. I agree with you. It's a good sign for Luminosity fans that you're getting respect banned out by other teams, especially the caliber of CLG.
Now, when you look at the last 3, the Athena and the 2 mages, that's basically Counter Logic Gaming say, all right, rooks. Geno played for a couple of weeks last year, but he's basically a rookie in my mind. All right, Keegs and Geno, show us that you can play the other gods, because we've seen the Morgan, like we know that Keegs plays the Morgan, and we know that Keegs plays the Poseidon, and we know that Geno plays the Athena. So those bans might be fleeting, but this time they're saying, show us other stuff. With Weekend having to ban an Arachne is such a powerful move for Luminosity. And here, I think we saw a 60-40 last time.
Yeah.
So we got 1 guy.
1% is like, yo, never mind, LG's sick. Surprised that it's that low for Luminosity after how well they displayed.
I really think, or I really expected more players to be there, because, I mean, we saw a couple of wins early, and LG definitely did surprise people with their level of play.
Oh, yeah.
But I think there was still a question of, who is the real LG? And we saw things stable out, and they did find some losses. But this after game number 1, this team looks really good.
They really do, and I'm excited to see what they can do going forward, because it's the right amount of weirdness in my mind.
Yeah.
They're going to do weird stuff, but it's not going to be mouse sports level, where it might be a little bit too much at times. This is the right amount of spice involved. It's not gonna make your eyes water right away.
It's understanding the team identity. It's so very important. And it's funny. Somebody I just spoke to him today in an interview that you'll be able to catch on Monday. That's why I keep bringing him up. But Polar Bear Mike isn't the first one that comes to mind when you think jank. Polar Bear Mike is a very traditional, I think, sort of player. But he's the first one to say that, like, look, if you just follow the meta, you're going to wind up on the bad end. Kiki right now going to wind up on the bad end if the players can catch up. But the hot hands won't make it happen.
Man, Homie takes half his HP from 1 tower shot. That extra tagginess from that breastplate 1 that Kiki picked up, making a big difference.
Here he's going to get in some trouble from fineokay. Not enough damage to deal there just yet, but Luminosity's ability to sort of identify that they play what they play, and that's all well and good, because the most important point is how well they play together. And after, like I said, watching game number 1 was, I mean, you guys watched it with us, right?
Top right, Weekend trying to get the invade going on to Homiefe, but Homie falls very low, and in fact falls for the first blood, just 2 poked out from that little 1 tower shot that he took. It all comes back to that, just one step too far forward underneath the tower, and eventually Weekend takes advantage.
And Weekend Circuit here getting the first blood. Ouch. This is already a bad look for Counter Logic Gaming, and Luminosity here going to play through Weekend in this game, undoubtedly. Last time on the Achilles, he really wasn't the person looking at. I think we were more kind of staring at Keegs, Kiki, and Clout in that game. Weekend had a fantastic performance on the Achilles, but I don't think the game was drawn up for him to be the hard carry. Here on the Circuit, the game is drawn up for him to be the hard carry.
And that's one of the things that makes Weekend really good at this level, is that he has the potential to do both the hard carry and the setup.
Yeah.
And not a lot of players can say that, but Weekend certainly can, and just has that potential with any god you give him, but particularly the Circuit. I mean, the man's logo used to be Circuit. He plays it all the time.
Well, here he is going into Homiefe again, but let's watch the first time he went into Homiefe. Just, 2, 1, and we'll see you later.
That's what Circuit can bring to any team composition. No matter what the rest of the meta is going on, Circuit can do that.
Always has that stuff available, and you mentioned it. Once upon a time, it was his logo. This is the god. This was one of the first characters that Weekend came through and said, kind of watch out for me. Weekend and Homiefe were the sort of second generation Smite players. We had the first generation of the guys like Lazes and Zapman and Lobsters, and then the Weekends and the Homiefes of the world sort of came out, and it was there was a lot of scrutiny watching these players sort of burst into the scene, but it was the Circuit that everybody went, oh, okay, this guy with a 3 in his name is actually really dope. We got to watch out for him.
Well, just because you have a number in your name doesn't mean you're immediately bad. Tom.
Aggress 5 shin.
Aggrafiveshin, thank you very much.
Oh, Manon. Fun stuff.
That's a good name, okay?
Aggrafiveshin.
Aggrafiveshin.
Yeah, okay. I don't even think I can say that after hearing you say it twice.
What do you mean? It's just aggression with a 5 for the first S. Makes tons of sense.
Aggrafiveshin.
There you go. Yeah, it's nice and easy.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to cast you anymore, thankfully.
You never had to cast me with Aggrafiveshin because whenever we got picked up by Aware Gaming, Aware Aggression didn't fit, so I had to shorten it to Aggro. I didn't even want to. I was mad about it at the time.
Yeah?
I really was. Now I'm glad.
Good.
I got glad.
It is objectively the better name.
Okay, well, it wasn't Aggrafiveshin all the time. It was only Aggrafiveshin when it needed to be. Aggression is just a good word that a lot of people were using on online spaces, so I couldn't just pick it up, you know?
I mean, so is aggro. I actually, I use aggro quite frequently when we talk about these games, right? Juggling aggro of the gold fury, making sure the solo laner grabs aggro from the enemy team, not meeting the mid laner.
Making sure aggro is just generally happy and, having a good time.
Not something I think about often.
I don't know if I believe that. But you don't have to worry about it today because my tie tells you that I am happy and having a good time.
I know that. I actually really like that tie.
I know you do. I wore it for you.
Did you really?
No, a lot of people were asking me to wear it again. In fact, an LG fan told me that I should wear it again because LG won when I wore this tie.
Oh, no.
It's true.
No.
Someone said that.
Oh, no. That's a bad look.
And now, I don't know. They might be onto something.
They really might be, but I am not taking I'm not taking one iota away from LG because this is a team, and I'm specifically looking at Weekend, a little bit of Kiki, but I'm specifically looking at Weekend. This team has it's about damn time. And that's not a slight at Weekends. A lot of times that's like, all right, you took so long. I don't think Weekend has had the pieces around him for a long time. And I'm seeing a new Weekend here, revitalized. Not to say that he didn't care before, but are you really going to go play lights out for one of the weaker end teams? I think Weekend surrounded himself with these guys and said, oh my God, we can actually win.
Look, like I said, I've been on a team with Weekend before, and the mentality from him has always been very, very strong. But at the same time, he needs to. You can't just slot Weekend into any 5 players.
I agree.
He needs the right people, the right personalities, the right play styles around him for him to feel comfortable and for him to perform very well. And I think it has been a while since he's been on a team like that, and it shows in his play. I mean, he didn't have the best of years last year. Now he's playing very well and not playing Thor anymore.
Beads coming out from Clout. Going to chase away the nonsense from Jigz. Snoopy takes to the sky left side. NotGeno comes out, and he's going to run away. And the ultimate from Homiefe largely wasted. Luminosity used 0 of theirs, plus you heard it. So you saw Snoopy, you heard Jigz, and nobody heard Homiefe. But all 3 of the results down for the count.
Now, Geno did have to use the sprint to make sure he wasn't in range of getting pulled by that powwow ultimate from Homiefe, but still worthwhile to make sure that the score line is still nice and clean for LG.
KikiSoCheeky on the Agni. Wow. Look, the confidence plays from Weekend. One player just going in for the invade. That word eluded me for the moment. But Luminosity here. Nothing seems to be eluding them. Weekend with the confidence, making these plays. I want to shout out keegsmate here because just like Weekend, changing his role here. Agni totally brings a lot of damage, specifically more these days. But Agni is definitely more of a control character with those long-range stuns. I know I'm talking to you and you think of Poseidon as a control mage, but I think Agni brings a little bit more utility in that world, or at least is expected to do that. Whereas Weekend now is the hard carry versus vice versa.
Well, look, they're both control mages, but they're a little bit different style for sure.
That's
Poseidon
what I'm
more,
getting at, yeah.
A little bit wider area, more persistent area denial. Agni's all about that one burst of you can't be right here right now, and if you are, I'm going to really punish you for it. And like I was saying, I was being a little bit critical of Keegs' positioning towards the end of game 1, and Agni's a great fix for that because a dash will stop a lot of those problems from happening.
Yes. I'm loving the opportunity. Kiki takes on 2 players. Weekend waits for his cooldowns to reset. And now here's the dash. The 2-on-2 brawl here in the solo lane. Really liking this one. But as soon as I think Jigz just popped it. Did I hear that correctly?
Yep.
So because of that, Luminosity are going to back off.
Geno also, alongside Clout, found Jigz alongside his mid laner and Hunter in the jungle. So I think that's another reason why Jigz uses it. Gets use out of it on the left. and on the right-hand side, but Terra ultimate on a pretty long cooldown, and that's why I like Jigz picking up these Shoes of Focus, getting a little bit of CDR into his build to make sure that he can use that Terra ultimate a little bit more frequently.
Kiki jumping into fineokay's stun right there. Doesn't have the upper hand of this lane. Will go back to base. Doesn't have a teleport. And I think that might give fineokay the... Oh, no. I thought there was more tower damage. That'll certainly give fineokay the power in this lane at the very least. But, you know, you brought up how Agni is the solution, quote unquote, to fixing, you know, the bad positioning, or at least as a band-aid, right? And it just, that I just said, wow. This, watching Luminosity today, I feel like this is why I really like watching Smite. Every time I'm looking at this draft or the gameplay, I'm finding something new, some other 200 IQ play there that Luminosity are executing or grabbing. Successful invade.
Snoopy tried to use the ultimate and sneakily to steal it away, but wasn't able to do so, and now LG get that red buff as well. Not a big lead for them in mid or in left, honestly. It's just being there for the timers.
Kiki's stunned out under tower. He is in execute range, but he will heal that up. Smart move from fineokay not to go for it because he has the jungler. fineokay finds the kill, but Kiki answers back and takes Homiefe along with him, martyrdom style.
Weaken here, but no blink for him. He went for purification beads at level 1, largely due to Homiefe's potential gank pressure, as fineokay realizes that Weaken is on his blue, but Cirquet kills those buffs so quickly that he's got no chance to get in there and seal it away.
Weaken now might be in some trouble. He's lonely in the enemy jungle. Chasing down Hurriwind, 2 levels of senior. Thinking about it, rethinking about it. Now he's got Geno here, and I like that. Again, Geno comes up here just to ensure safety. Really just a trapping guard saying, okay, nobody's coming in. You're safe, Weaken. You can exit.
Clout having some fun over on this left-hand side. Clout, one of the players that likes to have fun in that manner. You know, spam taunts, spam laughs. I'm a fan of it. Homie in a ton of trouble in mid. He's just dead. Keegs did it all by himself.
And the aggressive dash right there. Love the aggression coming out from the mid laner here.
That's exactly right. That's what I want to see from Keegs, is confidence still. And when I say that being a little bit overconfident at times, that comes with just playing with that swagger that Keegs has, and that's fine. Yeah. You could always tone that down. It's much harder to teach a player to play aggressively and to play like they're the best player on the field at any given time. That takes a long time to be able to do that. It's a lot easier to just tune it down a little bit, and I think the Keegs will get there. Again, as you mentioned, he's a rookie. He's not been in the league very long. I have no doubt that this is the beginning of a pretty successful career for him at the SPL. I just know that, like I said, Keegs takes criticism well, just something that he needs to work on.
CLGaming trying to get their purple buff, and ooh, the dash away as the Agni gets aggressed on by the jungler. Homiefe gonna turn around. He does have the chain up there, but Discordia Apple as well. And Hurriwind takes care of keegsmate on the south side. Now Weaken trying to escape. Luminosity getting punished for their invade on the left side. Geno knocked up, but in general should be fine. Jigz here. Geno still trying to keep the fight going. Clout finds some nice damage. The accuracy on Clout, very, very strong. A little trouble there from the Discordia. Luminosity look like they're waffling right now. Not sure if they really want to take this fight on the left-hand side. They want to see if they can bait Homiefe back into this world and find him, because they know that jungler is very, very low. And he's going to get Hurriwind. Weaken's going to pick up Hurriwind. That's going to extend this conversation for Luminosity. And Geno trying to escape here, but CLGaming defend their buff well. But Luminosity spend enough time in this left lane to sort of force CLGaming to overextend their welcome.
And that just comes back to how much pressure Luminosity has exerted on that left side buffs that CLG, despite being low, feel like they still need to hang around.
And look at right here, Kiki again in trouble. And underneath the tower, here comes fineokay. Couple more damage. Well, okay, all right, just chasing him down there. fineokay gets the old mystical male kill. Just looks at a guy until he dies. Great job.
And the bats biting back in that situation to Kiki. The thorns not helping out his case in the sustain that situation, actually. Ending up causing him to take more damage than he wanted to.
Clout right here is another player that I think is greatly benefiting from this Luminosity lineup as Kiki's tower falls down here to basically tie up the game. Clout is a guy that, and I realize that this is a little bit, not being the nicest person. Clout for me has not always his level of talent has not always matched his level of care, and I think that on this Luminosity lineup, there's so much potential here. I'm seeing more of the good side of Vedi. I'm seeing more of the good side of Clout here, and I think that when Clout's feeling good, his play reflects it, and he can be one of the best hunters in the world. But his happiness level, his comfort level has to be there, and we've seen it not. But right now on this Luminosity team, I think this is a great home for a player like Clout.
See, I completely agree with you, and the thing that really makes it stand out to me is how well he consistently plays at LAN, where you're around your teammates, everyone is amped up, you're ready to go, and Vedium has historically been a phenomenal LAN performer, and I think that really lends itself to what you were saying.
Homiefe trying to defend his own jungle here. Geno gonna get wrapped up. I think they're gonna get Geno, but that might be it. Weekend still shows up. I don't know what you're doing there, buddy. Just give up your support there. By the way, red buff looks like it was defended. Nope. keegsmate able to pick it up. So trade your support for bigger objectives. We always say that's the easy question. A little bit harder to dissect here, but I think the repeated red buff invades make that Geno death worth it.
Now, the only thing that would make me disagree with you here is the gauntlet of Thebes stacks that Geno really needs. He's very far behind in stacks right now to Jigz, and being put on the bench for a little bit on the respawn timer where it's going to take him longer to finish off that gauntlet of Thebes. I think I would have preferred to see LG play a little bit safer in that situation.
At the same time, I mean, the reason I bring that up is, one, so that's been Luminosity's game plan from the beginning, and I think that there's something to be said about consistently executing your game plan, but perhaps more importantly, Homiefe, one of the greatest junglers in the world, on Daji, one of the harder to deal with chase down characters in the game, you're shutting him down. You're keeping him. He's still able to find this lead somehow, but keeping him outside of that experience on the left-hand side because LG has ran these jungles, that's not a bad look.
That's a good point, and especially forcing Homiefe into that Magi's cloak. I mean, it's not particularly expensive. It doesn't slow down his build as much as it looks like at first glance. It's only 2,050 gold, and it just ignore the bubble, ignore the protections. 2,050 gold for 350 health. And you're thinking to yourself, yeah, maybe. And then you think about, well, I get a little bit of each protection, and then, I get this bubble that prevents me from being CC'd for a while. I mean, phenomenal item. Probably, we see it all the time, and it's still probably under-purchased for how strong it is.
I'd agree with that one. Snoopy aggressed on, but Jigz from the backside. Clout gonna get stunned, knocked up. Beads ineffective. Here comes Homiefe as well, looking to use Trickster. And he's going to catch up with Geno, but Weekend's lurking in the back line. Blink on top of Snoopy. There's a zigzag. There's the breath. He's going to explode on his teammates. Both of them got the poison, and Weekend's looking for more. Geno trying to catch up. The route to slow down the jungle. Weekend's here. His support's taking the tower. Zigzag in hand. Homiefe going to eat dirt.
Love that play there from Weekend and Clout. Just when Snoopy's Aegis wears off, Clout pops the poison as Key's looking for the 1v1 in the mid lane, almost finds it up against Hurriwind. Both mid laners force each other into Aegis.
And you said earlier that you liked his aggression because it's easier to dial it back than turn it up. For me, it's always about the name power as Luminosity takes the gold fury that they've earned after that team fight on the left. Watching new players come into the league and especially talking to the players at LAN or interviews or even just hanging out and asking them, what's it like going against Zapman for the first time? What's it like seeing zeros across the wave? KikiSoCheeky Hurriwind is a legendary name at this point. And KikiSoCheeky going behind the tier 1 tower, looking for the 1v1 against a veteran player like Tyler as a raw rookie into this league. That's something that's what I look at for players. When we say things like X Factor or intangible, that's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that.
Just the willingness to forget about who you're playing against or what situation you're in. And Keeg certainly proved himself in that regard in my mind. When you factor in the fact that he just won a world championship. He was just on the biggest stage that he could be in underneath that SCL banner under Myth Gaming. Found a world championship victory. You can tell that the dude is composed in those situations.
Jumps in, but waits out for the CC immunity from the ultimate from fineokay. Then finds the taunt. Immediately ultimates on top of the enemy jungler. He's going to go down easily. And now Kiki might be in some trouble. But trying to fight back into this with all the sustain.
Homie forced up into the ult, and Kiki will go right after him. Homie just going to pull him back in and make sure that he's got an escape route. Like that play from Homie, but love that play from fineokay, who starts to ult out and then gets the call, yo, Homie's on his way. So he turns back in. And Weekend recognizes it very, very quickly, but didn't have the blink available in order to try and get away. And Homie's just able to chase him down.
Yeah, nice punish there from CLG. Weekend played the entrance really well, right? Making sure not to blow the taunt on the character with the CC immunity. But the fight back, CLG just looked a little bit stronger there. Nice stuff coming out from Homiefe, who's been quiet all evening. And CLG need this guy to step up if they're going to find wins.
And this is the beginning of that happening, I think, because getting that kill onto Weekend gives Homie a pretty big bounty. I mean, Weekend was, what, 3-0 before that kill happened in CLG's favor. I mean, you saw the Magi's Cloak come into real play there. He didn't have to use the beads in response to the last breath. It's just a good pickup, and now that he has it, it allows him to build more and more damage without being that afraid of what Luminosity has to offer.
Let me rectify what I just said. I said that Homie needs to step up if this team's going to find the W. Well, it's been Luminosity intentionally keeping Homiefe down. They've repeatedly looked for this red buff and purple buff every time. LG has ran this left side jungle, so Homiefe has had to find farm elsewhere. The fact that he's just about a level, maybe a half a level down from Weekend, and hasn't had control of his left side jungle at all, I think that speaks volumes about just how good this player is.
He's an excellent farmer, and that's something that really stands apart from him. Not just against every player, but there are certain matchups where it feels like he's really doing a great job of farming. This has certainly been one of them. Like you mentioned, it's been Luminosity who's controlled the left side of the jungle, and I haven't really seen Homie taking that many mid waves. I mean, he just took one there, but he's put Hurriwind a little bit behind with how many he's taken, and that's where the difference really comes from, is that Kigz has been able to solo a lot of his mid waves, and Homie's been there in the mid to try and share those with him, but it's kept Homie in the game, whereas normally Weekend would be way ahead.
And again, just smart play from Luminosity, identifying, Homie has been one of the big reasons for CLG's success this year. Jigz going to take the brunt of the damage from Kigz. Like that Kigz only used 2 of his bombs. Okay, it's only unavailable. But still, right side, Kiki, again, finding himself on the back foot. fineokay. fineokay has been the light in the darkness for CLG in this game, too.
He's been dominant in this lane. Got the tower pretty early on because of the solo kill against Kiki. He's been able to free farm, sitting at level 19, the highest in the game. The late Gladiator Shield is an interesting pickup here from fineokay because he's got some sustain in the kit as it is with that second ability and could heal himself up pretty nicely. But this tells me that he knows that CLG is going to fight very soon, that I need to make sure that I've got my 4th item power spike ready to go because of the expensive mystical mail that he picked up, despite being ahead of Kiki in gold, in experience, it's actually Kiki who was on 4 items. I mean, he's got some cheaper options, the Midgardian, the Nemeid, and the Pestilence. fineokay went for the more expensive, arguably more impactful item in the mystical mail, so this Gladiator Shield allows him to stay even in the item department, make sure that he's hitting the same power spikes, or relatively the same power spikes, as Kiki is, so that he can be just as, if not more, impactful when it comes to the team fighting phase.
Gold Fury about to respawn here, 22 minutes in. Tight game, 6-5 so far here. Just a 2,000 gold lead for Luminosity, the team that won game number 1, perhaps surprisingly to a lot of the fans at home. With that Gold Fury respawning relatively soon, I think that is directly why we see fineokay buy that bridge item. You were talking about, that kind of signals that CounterLogic Gaming is looking to fight. I think CounterLogic Gaming is looking, not necessarily that they want to, but they're expecting the fight around this Gold Fury, because Luminosity did that a number of times in game number 1.
This next Gold Fury is going to be really big because it's one of those Gold Furies that if the team that's ahead gets it, gives them a chance to get a lead big enough that they can start thinking about closing out the game, or if the team who's behind gets it, it's like they were never behind in the first place.
Well, CLG are starting on it. They've brought it down to about half, and now they're going to leave it looking for the team fight. The Apple of Discordia, already used, and Weekend has to be chased out of here. Homiefe trying to find Kigz, but it's going to be Snoopy that's looking for him, and right there with the ultimate, he gets one. Trying to chase down Weekend, it won't happen, but as Snoopy leaves his team, Clout is bringing it to the opposition. Down goes Homiefe to the hand of the Hunter. And Luminosity defend the Gold Fury. Snoopy uses the Aegis. Here comes Kiki, trying to find the last hit on the Hunter. And Jingwei falls down. Clout again. 202 for the Hunter.
Now towards the Gold Fury they go. Snoopy again is a little bit too deep, but this two games in a row that it's to the point where I wonder if this is a dedicated effort from CLG to say, yo, Snoopy, you go dive the back line and to see if you can get a kill and trade out before you fall. And it worked out there, but maybe not as well as they would have liked.
Weekend finding the little hole there to avoid the pull from Discordia, but oh, the Gold Fury is still pulled so low, it's anybody's. Luminosity are able to confirm it in the worst of scenarios. Counter Logic Gaming trying to take care of Kiki. fineokay hits him and then remembers the last 23 minutes in the solo lane and says, he's not going to die. We should eject. Gold Fury goes the way of Luminosity. And Ryan, you said it before, this has turned their minimal lead into not quite substantial, but 4 to 5K is where you can actually start using your lead.
A noticeable lead for Luminosity now at this point. And Clout staying up versus Snoopy dying is really the only difference in that team fight in my mind, because whatever team was going to be able to save their hunter, kill the other one, and let your hunter do the majority of your sustained DPS to those objectives was going to be the one with the advantage. And again, Snoopy just seems to be willing to go really, really deep in these team fights, and it's not exclusive to the Jingwei that had the sprint. You know, he was able to chase down a very low health keegsmate, just doing it again last game as well. So CLG seems to think this might be the way that Snoopy could be most effective. And, you know, I don't disagree, especially in the late game team fights. I mean, a hunter 1v1 is going to beat just about anybody, but in that situation, Snoopy just way farther ahead than everybody else on his team.
Luminosity way farther ahead than the opposition here, and like I said, surprisingly so, I think, to a number of fans. But I think this might be the last week that we can actually say that. Week 1 and week 2, LG came out and looked really strong. Week 3 and the beginning of week 4, all right, they had some stutter steps, but after I think this win, and I do agree with Graham for what it's worth. I do think CLG look a little bit disjointed. My question is it Luminosity that's causing that disjoint?
I think so. I think that CLG just looks a little bit, you know, thrown for a loop. Probably isn't the right term in my mind, but CLG's falling back into some old habits, which is something that I know I've criticized many players on this roster for in the past, where I just want to see them be the aggressors, and they don't feel like they are the aggressors right now against Luminosity, and really haven't felt that way since minute 1 of either game. It's kind of been Luminosity who's dictating the pace, and you can't just counterpunch all the time. You have to force the tempo into your favor at times as well.
fineokay going to drop the thorns. That keeps Weekend off of him. Pyromancer pulled by Luminosity. fineokay will try and defend, but that one will go the way of the white and blue. Oh, damn it. They're both white and blue.
They are both white and blue. CLG's got, like, CLG red and stuff.
That's a whole separate team.
Yeah, I know, but, like, they at least there's something with the banner there, you know? I'm trying to help you out here, Tom.
I appreciate it, but I think I'm just up a street without a paddle.
You're an idiot. Does that feel better?
Whoa!
You messed up.
Why the aggravation?
Listen, man, you didn't want what I was giving to you, so I decided to switch it up and see if you like that any better. Now you can make a choice.
Well, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll take it. Please be nice to me, Aggro.
No problem. Hey, good try there with the white and blue stuff. I think that a lot of people probably thought that of Luminosity first, then probably thought, hey, CLG's white and blue as well. But we knew he was referring to Luminosity. It's not even a big deal. That's what everyone thought collectively.
Yeah, I think I like you better when you're pretending to be the savage.
Oh, you're a stupid idiot face, and I can't believe you would ever think to call them the white and blue when they're both clearly white and blue. What an embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't have it. You just don't have. There's something missing. There's something there's something you just don't have it. There's something missing.
Are you broken? Do you need help? Do you need help right now? Geno needs some help on this left-hand side. Sprint popped, but Homie's Blink gonna get him close enough, and that might be enough to confirm that kill.
Oh, but here comes Weekend! Oh, from the jungle! He's gonna get the zigzag damage, but not too much. Trying to play defense there, not gonna happen. His Guardian does fall down. Now Kiki making the hard rotation from the long side, and fineokay trailing. Luminosity needs to bite back before fineokay shows up, because he will clean up. Kiki takes care of Snoopy, and fineokay on the back line just looking for one, and he gets it. Looking for two, and he misses it. Can't find Kiki. And now Kiki trying to fight back with a sustain from the puddle. Clout doing Clout things. Him and Weekend combined for the double kill on top of Jigz and the duo lane. And Luminosity give 3 to Clout. The hunter from Canada playing incredibly today. 5 kills in total for Clout, man.
Clout has been such a big factor for Luminosity so far in Season 5. And again, CLG just don't focus them. They just blow everything onto Weekend and onto Keegs and onto Geno. and Clout just gets to free cast, and he gets a triple kill. Hunters are so bad right now. They just don't do anything in these team fights. Clout has had so many big plays in Luminosity's games. I don't know how you can watch this guy play and say Hunters aren't making an impact at a pro level, because it is so painfully obvious that Clout is a big deal on this Luminosity squad.
I think that's part of Luminosity, is the fact that everyone seems to be a big deal for this squad. All 5 members, I think, are equal parts of this team, and I don't think that it's bad to play through a star player. I don't think you're wrong if you have 2 guys that are better than the others, but I just always preferred this team-wide play, and Luminosity are feeding right into it. And like I said, I think the last time I saw Clout this successful, and by definition this happy, this comfortable, was at the very beginning of that enemy stint. Things might have changed towards the end, but at the very beginning of that enemy stint, where everybody seemed like they were making impacts and part of the squad, I think Clout feeds into this team-based atmosphere. I think Clout understands and likes this atmosphere. And again, I mean, comfort is king. 5-0-3 for the Hunter right now. And Clout looks just great season 5.
We talked about it with Weekend, that you got to have the right pieces around you, personality-wise, playstyle-wise, and
yeah,
it's clearly working so far. For whatever Luminosity's got going on, whatever's in the water, they should keep on drinking, because they look great right now.
And I'm legitimately happy to see these guys succeed. I think this is a lot of fun. And again, I want to bring a lot of attention to the fact that Weekend and Kiki are doing this with keegsmate and NotGeno. 2 of the fresher guys in this league.
Every time you say that, it's like, yeah, keegsmate's doing it, but not Geno. Like, I was like, damn, dude, Geno's played well. Why you got to go at him like that?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, not what I mean. Not what I mean. Geno's looked great. I wouldn't mind the name change to just Geno.
Just Geno?
Yeah. No. Not Justgeno. I mean Geno. Exclusively Geno by itself alone.
That'd be a pretty good name.
Yeah.
I could be a fan of that.
For what it's worth, Geno didn't actually choose his name. He was asked at the beginning of the season to change his original name. So this predicament, not his own making, for what it's worth.
It's true.
I usually like to criticize players for their name choice. Clout.
Not a good one. Vedium was a good name, dude.
Well, the trials and tribulation of Connor's name in game. He came through and it was Vitium, and everybody pronounced it Vedium. But when I asked him in private, he said, no, it's actually Vitium. I just never correct anybody. So we changed that. And then he said, you know what? I looked it up. I thought it was a old word, and it's not the case. Homiefe on the back end needs some other words right there. Is he going to die in the powwow?
Toast.
Oh, he died after the fact, and he spread it to fineokay. Meanwhile, Clout just casually taking care of Jigz. Nice and easy there.
Wow, and Weekend's going to be able to get back in time to defend this left side Phoenix as well. That's exactly how you draw it up. Get 1 kill, back right away, and just be able to defend your left side Phoenix from Snoopy's split push. Now, Snoopy will be able to get back to base and fly to wherever necessary to help out CLG, but nothing's going to help these towers on the right. LG's going to get both of these without any sort of contest.
And pre-Fire Giant, and I think this is really important, in a meta that we've watched games go 50 minutes repeatedly, Luminosity are saving that Fire Giant for the Phoenix pushes. They're seeing how much they can get away with without that Fire Giant, so they can save it for when it really matters. And
Snoopy had both relics.
Yeah.
How did he die?
Weekend's feeling himself right now. Weekend is a scary dude when he's playing this well. 5-1-4. Jungle Circuit.
I mean, Snoopy ulted, but Weekend's on a Circuit with speed buff. No way that's going to be enough distance for him to give up that chase. Snoopy must have just gotten surprised. We didn't have ult either.
No ult, no blink,
no crit, like no surprise burst. You know that you shouldn't be able to understand is coming. That's rough. That's rough because now 20 seconds, not the end of the world, but it gives Luminosity enough time to set up around that Fire Giant to make sure that they've got complete ward coverage and put their feet in the ground.
Do it. Don't whip out. I'm Ryan, you need to tell me that call is wrong.
No, that call is correct to back up in that situation.
That's what I mean. Tell me that my call is wrong.
There's no way that CLG has the DPS to burn that Fire Giant down without Snoopy. Snoopy
That's
is
true.
so much
Snoopy.
of their objective DPS. There's no way that CLG get that Fire Giant out from underneath Luminosity.
I mean, Homiefe Daji does a great job against the objectives, but without Snoopy, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Luminosity get the Fire Giant for free.
So if you get in a ranked game with FDOT today, don't listen to the call. Let someone else do the shot calling. Not today. You know, it's not. Tom's calls are usually okay, but maybe not today.
It's actually really funny. My calls in my ranked games are actually fantastic. It's everything else is terrible.
Oh. Well, if that would have been the shot call, I don't know if I would have bought that.
Well, I don't think I would have called that if it was my game.
So well, then why were you mad at CLG for not doing it?
Oh, well, I mean, it's the secondary look. Okay, it's the secondary look.
Hey, you wanted me to not be nice to you. This is me not being nice to you. I could have just let this go.
I'm not buying you dinner tonight, mister.
And I was really looking forward to my Lunchable.
Well, tough. You're going to get deluxe ham and cheese.
That's the worst one.
It really is. Right now, Luminosity cooking something up here. Looking to find their victory against CLG, who this... You and I bring the sports terminology a lot to the broadcast. Statement game. This is a statement game for Luminosity. It's a statement game in the W alone, should they get it here in game number 2. But the way that they've played is the double whammy.
Exactly. Finding a victory against a team just outright, it makes a statement, and it's definitely a sign for your squad. But yeah. The games where you just don't do anything special, you don't surprise your opposition, you play what everyone else is playing, and you just beat the crap out of them, that's the one where CLG is like looking for an excuse, and they just can't find one.
Yeah.
We just got beat today.
I mean,
and that's a feeling that Luminosity, there are times where, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of teams that like to throw the weird stuff out there. I'm sure Mouse Sports feels great whenever they catch someone off guard with the Agni support, and the enemy team doesn't know what's coming for them, and they find the victory. That's probably a very feels good. There's something to be said for just matching fire with fire and coming out on top unequivocally.
Yeah.
And that to me has always been the best feeling as a player, is just you know what's coming and you still can't stop it.
Left side sprints popped. Luminosity looking for the fight. Weaken over the wall, looking to separate the damage dealers. fineokay gonna find the Circuit and push her on out there. 80% of the Phoenix. Right side, Mage dealing some damage, and the left side, well, still trouble, as Weaken can't join the conversation just yet. But the Phoenix has left the conversation. Now, Keegs again in some trouble. Scratch that, causing trouble. Geno could be executed.
Ooh.
Oh, but fineokay can't catch up.
Nice dash out of the way by Clout. That was the target for fineokay, but a little bit too quick on the dash for the Hunter, and Luminosity get that left side Phoenix, but right Phoenix is up, and CLG's able to heal up in between these sieges. LG won't be as easy for them.
Yeah, this time around they have to think critically about how they engage here. And the point I was going to bring up before we saw that push was the fact that Weekends had a great game, 5-1-4, but this also isn't a game where a single hyper carry gets carried away and goes nuts. Again, another team game. Kiki starts to fight and baits Counter Logic Gaming from biting too hard on him, but then it's Weekend that comes through and takes care of Homiefe. The right side Phoenix is going to be down. Ryan, this could be it.
LG, are they really going to 2-0 Counter Logic right now? What a performance from these guys today. 37 minutes, 18-8, no question about it. These guys just played great.
Clout gets a double kill to put a cherry on top of this one. 9 kills in total for the Hunter, 6 kills in total for the Jungler. 20-8 is the last scoreline. And Ryan, let me just say, this was my favorite game of Smite to watch so far this split.
Man, that was really impressive stuff from Luminosity, and they just beat them. Yeah. They just beat up CLG. Are you surprised that Weekend can play Circuit? No. Clout's been playing Hachiban almost every game. Is that a surprise? No. They just CLG just didn't look like they were up to par there up against Luminosity. And I could have seen myself saying that sentence, but with the roles reversed coming into today, impressive from Luminosity. That's the only word I have left.
The litmus test has been given and passed. Luminosity Gaming we started this set by saying North America is one of two things, either 3 top and 3 bottom, or 4 top and 2 bottom. And Luminosity has joined that top-end conversation in my mind.
They looked good, really, really good today. And this is their first big win, because the big win, the signature win, to borrow the March Madness stuff, that was against E United in week 1, when then E United loses 2 in a row after that. And you're like, well, how much does that win actually matter for Luminosity? This win matters for Luminosity. And the big deal here for CLG is that this is a tough loss, and now they play E United, who they just lost to for their first L. How are they going to be able to bounce back from it?
It's going to be rough for CLG, but all things looking pretty in the world of Luminosity Gaming. Did one player stand out in front of everybody? Let us know in Mixer Chat how you're feeling. And as far as the set of a whole, we'll break it down. It's Hinduman, and it's John Finch.
Thank you, Tom Badinger. It is Finch and it's Graham here on the desk. And game 1, you might say, came down to one player on the Fire Giant, and LG kept it from there. But game 2, that looked like LG was in control kind of the whole time. Graham, is that how you saw it?
Honestly, if you saw what I said at the start of this game, I was like, I kind of have a feeling LG could do this one because of how they were playing.
Yeah, brag about it.
Well, no, just being realistic. Like, something felt off about CLG today.
Sure.
At least in that set for sure. Homiefe struggled in both games, specifically that last one. And the dual lane just didn't seem to get in it at all, which is very confusing for CLG. That team on paper has been amazing all year long.
Yeah.
And really struggled there. Like, very surprised by that. CLG have got some big issues because E United are literally the next set they're going to have to play.
And that's tough. I mean, we were looking forward to that as 2 top-end teams playing each other, but after that performance, you have to wonder just a little bit about that CLG roster. But chat, you made your voices heard there in Mixer Chat. Clout is going to be the MVP from game 2, and I got to feel like that one was well-earned. 9-0-6, 22k player damage, and my man was coming in on those team fights and finding the basics.
It's really funny. Me and F actually have the same opinion of this. We didn't speak about it, but I was actually thinking the same thing when he was like, this is the best we've seen Clout play since that Worlds run with the enemy squad. That's exactly the last time I remember seeing Clout turn up like this. He's got confidence in himself. He seems to have confidence in his team, and I think he gels with the team. Something that I think he's struggled with recently is finding a team he gels with to the play style of the team and himself. But looking solid. I mean, Hachiman's one of those hunters that is safe as anything, and also the master of the boxing trades right now, and he put it on. He put it on a show.
And not just so strong in the boxing matches and in lane, as you alluded to, but in the team fights as well. The Heavenly Banner attack speed for everyone. The mounted archery can hit multiple members, slow, do a ton of damage. So Clout really getting the most out of that Hachiman kit. But for my money, I mean, everyone on LG played excellently. Keegs maybe didn't get the stat line in game 2, but he was doing tons of damage. He was the focal point for CLG.
Sure, and I think that's a really good point to mention, is that this whole team as a squad were playing amazing today overall. Keegs with this individual kill was a nice little clean pickup. It's like,
wow, yeah.
Also notice Homiefe, I believe, did have beads available then, and that's why I'm like, Homie wasn't really on it today. Something's off in this set for Homiefe. He was the majority of the deaths in that game, didn't really manage to get anything going for himself.
It definitely looked like he didn't realize that he was in that much danger. Maybe didn't know that much burst was available to him, but I like that play from Keegs because we were pointing out backstage, you could see the vision that they had. Keegs knew his damage, he knew that he was safe to make that play, and Aggro even called it out. He is not afraid to go in and play aggressive.
Not at all. I mean, one thing they also mentioned as well is LG as a team this year. Like, we expected a divide, sure. I think the mid-table right now, I'm not putting them in the upper echelon just yet. I'm sorry, LG, you've done a couple of good things. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely a mid-table team now. They're not at the bottom where everybody expects them to be coming into the year. The teamwork is really showing through.
And it's not about how they've been playing this year. It's like E United won Worlds last year. Space Station are so storied. These are rosters that have a history of playing really well, and LG are playing well right now. Once they show us they can do it repeatedly, we'd be happy to put them up there with them as well. But that's going to do it for us for the LG versus CLG set. We still have one more, the big one. E United going up against CLG. We'll be coming at you after the break.